Okay. I'm trusting that I'm going. Boast not thyself. Psalms 27:1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow. Means talking about the big things you're going to do tomorrow. You know, 90% of our preachers of today break that simple rule of the wisest man that ever lived, King Solomon. Proverbs 27:1. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what the day may bring forth. As a matter of fact, the Lord told us, don't say you're going to do this or that, but say, if the Lord will. Boasting, love, 1 Corinthians 13, love envieth not. Love is not pumped up. Love boasteth not itself. And in that, let's talk about what boasting is. Let me turn the light on here. I know people aren't very patient with folks that run from in front of the camera. But I did. Watch me. And again, anyway. Now to get really serious. Boasting. You know, I know probably 10 preachers that actually know who I am, and 4 or 5 of those know me by name, and every one of them depend on telling people what is going to be happening in the future of the church. And to tell you the truth, I used to think that was okay, but the Bible teaches us that that is not the thing to do. It's not a godly principle of things to do. See, because when you teach things in such manner as that, you're putting men's hope in material things. Now, yeah, it's ministry. It's ministry, and you know, the fact that Jesus went out and he said, "Look at all these things. There shall be a time when not one stone shall be left upon another." And a part of that was done because of the boast factor of men's trust in religion. Men's trust in religion. Men's trust in religion is why Christ was not recognized. One of the greatest reasons why he was not recognized. See, because men begin to trust in material things of what religion would bring them rather than what Jesus was really all about. Christ continuously warns people of today, boasting about religion. Boasting, you know, religion says that it's okay to look at material gain. Religion says it's okay to look at material gain, but the relation in Christ tells us to look forward to the coming of the God who has given everything. And all the feasts of the Jews were centered on the attention of Christ and God who has made everything. And fake religion is the enemy of that. It is the enemy of that, because the Bible tells us that the flesh is the enemy. In Ephesians tells us that the flesh is the enemy of God, and the flesh is always pointing to. See, this is why the Antichrist is going to be so popular when he comes. He's going to put 2 cars in every garage, and you know, this is why I'm aggravated with the mega church of the day, because this is what they teach. They teach the future of the Antichrist. See, everybody's set up. Everybody is set up. The only thing the Antichrist got to do is step in and say, you know, and attach himself to these things, because they're preaching his message. They're preaching his message right now. Most of the preachers, you know, every community. We went to Elkhart yesterday looking for a church we might attend, and every church in town was closed down in the evening service. It's almost unheard of. Tia, go lay down. It's almost unheard of to have church at night. The church we attend in our hometown still does have church at night, and we are thankful for that. But we want to spread out. We want to go to some place where the churches, where we can fulfill a need, you know, fulfill a light that is in a dark world, so we can have a building of God's family here at home where we live. This is the best. Oh, no, I'm kidding. Commercial. That is not a commercial.
Mine's prettier.
Mine tastes better. Can you hear that train?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read some more of this. Let another man praise thee, and not thy own mouth, a stranger, and not thy own lips. Well, a practice of doing this keeps your heart humble. But when God steps in and he says, I come for this or come for that, Jesus in the book of Revelations, I am he who was dead and am alive. He tells people there is nothing wrong with prophets telling people that they are prophets. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with you standing up and announcing, even though you should stay humble in it. Well, you want people to know who you are, you know. Yeah, but so many years have people been fooled by the attempts of the devil to dog down the church, separation of church and state. And this country is what church has created. The freedoms of this country, the principles of the church has given. Everything in our Constitution is that which the church has allowed. And when you stop interpreting our Constitution through a biblical standard, you have no more Constitution. Why? Because you have no idea what the thing means anymore. You don't know what it's about. You don't know where the foundation is. You don't know where it's taking us. You have no idea. What the whole thing is about. A stone is heavy, verse 3 says, Proverbs 27:3, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? My neighbor came over one time and he says, I envy you guys living like you are, because back during the recession when I went for like, I don't know, 3 years without a job, we lived a lot without electricity, and we had a wood burning stove, and we lived by humble means, literally the way that they lived back in the old days when they first came to this country, you know. And he comes in the door. First thing he said was, I envy you guys for you live. Then he looked around, kind of dropped his head and walked back out the door. Let me tell you something. Living below the standard of what everyone is used to is really not something to be envied. That's why it says here, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but kisses of the enemy are deceitful. Well, you know what? A friend will wound you where you're hurting and cause that thing to be healed up. But an enemy is, with his kisses, is planning on finding a nice place to stab you in the back where your spinal column is and cripple you for life or kill you. Verse 7 says, the full soul loathes the honeycomb, but the hunger of the soul, a bitter thing is sweet. You know, I've said on Facebook here quite a few times that everything of the devil, everything of the righteous is deplorable to the devil. Everything of the righteous is deplorable. And he seeks only your hurt. He wants to turn things around. And this is the type of thing that King Solomon was talking about here. He wants to turn things around to make you that which looks to be evil. And when the Antichrist comes, this is going to be in perfection. It will be in perfection. He's going to seek to change laws and seek to change times because he doesn't want to point anything to Christ anymore. But that's what a prophet is about. This is God's prophet for you today, right here on Crossing the Middle Ministry. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow.